All right. So this week we couldn't. Last week we didn't do a show because we couldn't get scheduling right. Blah blah blah. Only one of us saw one movie each. Gav saw 22 Jump Street. I only saw um, How to Train Your Dragon 2. And then this week, Chris and I both saw Jersey Boys. So that's how we're going to have to review. As Chris said, it is 2 hours too long, or 40 minutes too long.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so let's get into the actual review now.
Yeah, in case you
Chris,
you listen to this back and think
redo the intro, your synopsis of the or the.
Yeah. Essentially, Jersey Boys is based off of the same name as the musical. It is the story of Frankie Valli and the Four Seasons, directed by Clint Eastwood. And essentially, if you don't know who Frankie Valli and the Four Seasons are, they did a couple of hit songs back in the mid '60s. Big Girls Don't Cry, Sherry, Walk Like a Man, a couple of those. It's the story of their band, how they came up, and then, of course, like a VH1 Behind the Music special, their crippling, crushing defeat and breakup.
that's the fate of all bands these days.
And as I said, also, it doesn't feel like a Clint Eastwood movie. And then we got off on a tangent about Million Dollar Baby.
I still maintain that Million Dollar Baby was great until she fucking breaks her neck.
Well, of course, it's not supposed to be a happy-go-lucky thing.
I was really digging it as a boxing movie. It's all this fucking political shit afterwards. I'm just like, oh, take me back to that boxing match. Maybe Morgan Freeman will fight that German chick and get revenge for her. I had a lot of different versions of that movie going on in my mind.
When Morgan Freeman gets in the ring, starts beating the shit out of a German woman.
Fights a German woman to get revenge. I didn't say I figured it would happen. I just hoped it would. I thought that would have made the movie a lot more distinct.
No, it wouldn't have.
As opposed to just critic worthy.
Let's take away the Oscar and make it...
Instead of being critically acclaimed, it could be Christopherly acclaimed. And I thought that was a much more prestigious title to have.
It would have went from critically acclaimed to cult classic after, if that was what would have happened.
Hey, cult classics are still good.
Yeah, but...
Add on to the fact that it turns out that Morgan Freeman is actually a cyborg from the future and you're gold.
I'm not trying to make this silly, Gab. I'm not trying to...
The
German chick turns out to be a clone of Hitler!
Yeah, that's...
Yeah.
No.
I'm just saying... Someone needed to get revenge on that fucking cheating German bitch, and Morgan Freeman was the man to do it. Like, this is fucking Rocky 4, where fucking Ivan Draco's just killed fucking Apollo Creed. So Rocky, or in this case,
Morgan
Freeman steps up to get revenge. And he's just like, I will fight you.
Why not Clint Eastwood?
Death, you bitch.
Why not?
Because he's all fucking doing bullshit, I don't know. Burying her or something. I don't know.
It'd be more surreal if it was.
I didn't write the entire thing out.
It'd be more surreal if it wasn't Morgan Freeman and for some reason Carl Weathers just stepped in the ring.
That'd be very out there.
Yeah.
All right, let's get on to
Anyway,
Jersey Boys. I completely and fully agree with Chris. This movie is 40 minutes too long. I don't understand why they put as many scenes into this as they did. And a lot of it, like, Chris, have you noticed that a lot of scenes end in just awkward silences?
Yeah,
like
there's a lot of moments where it's just like, we didn't really have an ending for this scene, so it just cut.
Yeah, they'll talk to they also talk to the camera a lot in this movie, but there'll be scenes where they're either talking to the camera or they'll talk to in a conversation with somebody else, and they'll say something, and then that's supposed to be the end of the scene, but the camera still lingers there for about 5 more seconds before it cuts to something else, and you're just like, that's a little bit weird.
Yeah, there's a lot of weird little technical hang-ups in this movie. The Talking Heads one is the one that I hated the most. I don't particularly like that style.
I found it jarring to deal with.
It may work in maybe a very stylistic movie where that's the premise, but here it just felt very strange. It felt like it was having the novelization essentially read to me, because that's the main draw of it, is essentially like, oh God, I can't remember the exact quote, but he has one early on where he's just like, Frankie Valli was gonna be a king, and if I knew kings because I play, and I just said some fucking stupid ass quote that like in a book sounds good, but when it pulls you out of the narrative of the movie because he's already talked to characters in the scene and now he's talking to me, the audience, when it exists for just that sole purpose of getting a line out, it just came off really jarring and strange. I mean, it's not like movie breaking, but every time it happens, I'm just like, none of this is necessary though. In fact, there's one that's even counterintuitive to the whole movie at the Ed Sullivan show. I guess we're kind of getting a little bit into spoilers.
Oh, where they go back 2 years?
Yeah, where they're just
Yeah.
like, things were really getting bad here. And you're like, yeah, they are bad. You just found out you're $150,000 in debt. But it really started 2 years ago. It was like, why didn't we just do this in chronological order? Why
Yeah.
are we fast back? Why are we going backwards 2 years to just establish things are even worse in the future where we already were?
Yeah, it sounds like they're so eager to try and make it look like they're telling the story rather than showing us the story.
Yeah, there's a little bit of annoyances like that kind of puncture the script up a little bit. And again, it's a lot of stuff that just isn't necessary. Almost everything in that flashback 2 years thing could have just been cut because we didn't need any of it. The only thing that we needed to know was that Tommy was fucking up the band, and we already kind of knew
Which
that.
we knew that with his attitude throughout the whole movie.
Yeah, he's a fuckhead. We already knew that
Yeah.
from the very start of the movie, where he's like, "Don't worry, fucking Frankie's an angel. I'm never gonna do anything to hurt him. Hurry, let's rob this bank."
And then take all the money that we used to rob the bank and bet it on ponies.
Yeah, like this stupid bullshit that they keep doing, and like, I enjoy the movie, but it's so long, and you deal with so many scenes that you're just like, I get it. I'm really tired and want to leave the theater.
Yeah.
So you say what you're saying is basically one more rewrite maybe, and then
Yeah, I mean,
just think
I
they had
would,
a better editor.
yeah, a better editor, and honestly, I just get rid of the talking head stuff. Just get rid of all of it.
Now, I had another problem with this movie. I don't know if you had it, but the whole movie's filmed in a filter to kind of that mute all the color to it to kind of make it feel like an 50s, 60s
it's the
vibe.
60s.
And it's really obnoxious. I literally like the day before we're watching Netflix on episodes of Royal Pains on Netflix, and the episode that we last watched was about like this one guy's house, and every time they went to the house, they'd always put this filter on, and that's the same filter they used for that movie. So I was talking to the lady, and I was just like, I hate this episode because every time they switch to those scenes, it makes my eyes hurt because of the damn filter that's on there. And then we get to the theater and we watch this movie the next day, and I lean over at the door and I go, same goddamn filter, and I had to sit through it for 2 hours and 14 minutes. I fucking hated this movie for that. I don't think it's not taking the movie down a notch. It's just I can't, deal with that kind of a filter, I don't know if did you have an issue with it, or you're just like, nah, it's just.
I didn't mind. I like that the movie did kind of capture that 50s, 60s vibe. I mean, I'm a big fan of like kind of period pieces like that. Boardwalk Empire, I'm a huge fan of, which I only bring up because it features one of the actors from that in this movie as well. And I like it when they can capture.
Nucky's in it?
Nucky's not in it, but Lucky Luciano plays Tommy. Essentially, Vincent Piazza. He plays Lucky Luciano in Boardwalk Empire, and he's Tommy DeVito in this. And actually, it should be worth noting that most of the actors in this are really good. John Lloyd Young as Frankie Valli. He has that voice that just captures that nasally,
annoying, whining baby
I don't know
voice.
how it got so popular, but apparently in the 60s, they were just like, holy shit, this is incredible.
This is obnoxious as fuck. Let's put it on the air.
Anything different counted as awesome in that kind of era.
Apparently.
Something that other guys couldn't do. So
it's one of those things like he helped invent lounge singers, in the end, with how the movie ends, not the
end, but
not the end, but the story end of the movie.
Yeah.
His last song.
Yeah, which is actually a pretty good song.
Yeah.
I like that song.
Yeah.
I don't know what. Here's, I guess, the other thing to mention. Christopher Walken's in this film. He plays Gyp DiCarlo, who is essentially like the mafia head that has a friendship with Frankie and Tommy. And he's not like over the top per se in this movie,
Which is sad.
but he has a couple of good lines in it as well. He's just one of those
Don't go anywhere near my bathroom.
Yeah, that's such a weird scene altogether. But
I think
feel
he
like that
ad-libbed
had to be
that.
improvised.
I think he ad-libbed that.
Because I feel like when he was leaving, he's like, "Stay away from my bathroom." And I was like, "That's pretty good." But the best part is at the very end of the movie, like the end credit scene is like a bit. It's essentially like the musical where it's like everybody come on out, let's dance together and sing a song, and fucking getting Christopher Walken out there dancing. It's just like, oh, I love this.
I know. The music was good, even though I can find some of it annoying. This soundtrack's good and solid. The acting is pretty solid. I do think the guy playing Frankie did have a couple of issues that bothered me.
But he's not
in the beginning.
perfect, but he has a very good voice that kind of kept me from being too uptight about it.
Mm-hmm.
I also really liked. Oh God, I'm trying to remember his name.
The record deal guy?
Yeah, the gay guy.
Yeah, he's fucking awesome. Just play the fucking track, and he throws all the and he throws those papers up in the air.
That's like the one time I love the talking head is when fucking Bob gets and he's just like, we didn't know. At this point in time, we just all thought Liberace was theatrical. And like the next scene's like, it's the party boys! Boom, bada boom, bada boom, bada boom. Just like, I see who this is.
Yeah, he's by far one of the better points of this movie.
Mm-hmm.
I love him. I like Bob, and I liked Horsehead, as you call him.
Horseface. That's what he looked like to me. No offense to the actor, but that's what he looked like to me.
But Chris, what would you rate this thing?
I give it probably like a B-. It's not bad. Like that's the thing. I think there's definitely an audience for it. It obviously is skewing a lot older.
It's obviously in the 80s-year-old people range because that's all my theater was filled with.
Yeah, it's a lot of anyone who was basically alive for when Frankie Valli was run. I assure you could enjoy it. And if you liked Frankie Valli or Jersey Boys the musical, you'll probably enjoy the movie as well. If you're just interested in history and everything like that, again, you can still enjoy this, but
musical history, yeah.
It's just long. That's the problem. Is it's just a long movie, and that's the biggest hang up. If it wasn't so long, I probably would still give it about the same score. But
my grade would be higher if it was shorter. Definitely, my grade would definitely be higher.
Yeah, there really needed to be some trimming done on this movie.
Yeah, I am giving this movie a solid C. I like it, but I also don't like it at the same time. This is one of those movies that kind of like walks the rope. That it could go to either side. So I'm just going to plant my grade right fucking in the middle of it. Because I don't know where I want to put it. I'm just going to say a C. It's decent, but it could use a little extra help. So with that, we're going to go to... Gav, do you want to talk about 22 Jump Street?
Yeah.
All right, Gav. Let's. You can talk while we talk over you.
It usually happens. Okay. Well, I mean, like as I said, going in,
So,
I
Randy,
didn't.
what do you think 22 Jump Street was like?
I don't know. I probably think it's a big pile of ass.
Yeah, mostly. But I hadn't seen the first one going in, so I didn't. This is the thing. I was surprised by this film because I hadn't seen the first one. I didn't know it was a satire of itself. Mm-hmm. I thought it was an actual serious film, but. Okay, this is if for those who haven't seen the first one. Okay, basically it's two guys. I assume they're rookies in the cop, in police. Yeah. Again, like I said, I haven't seen the first one, so I don't know. But okay, these two guys.
They stop it's basically that the first one is they stop a drug ring inside of a high school.
Okay, and this movie is basically the parody of films like The Hangover. Where the sequels are always basically the exact same jokes, the exact same films, rinse and repeat, and this is them making fun of that sort of thing. So they're the same two guys.
Channing Tatum and
Jonah Hill.
Jonah Hill, basically trying to stop a drug ring. This time in a college.
Mm-hmm.
hilarity ensues, and yeah. It's the same cast, it's the same thing, and they're basically being told over and it's literally being drilled into you over and over. Everything has to be done the exact same way as last time. It's the same case. The exact same case.
Because the first one essentially was parodying reboots. They were just making fun of the fact that they were doing it again. And then this one is a parody of the sequel movies to a successful first comedy movie. All of them just hang around the exact same premise.
Yeah.
Yep.
And they lampshade the fuck out of it.
They do. They also do a lot of self-referential humor, a lot of jokes. Obviously, without going into it and spoiling the hell out of it right now, there's a lot of things where there's one scene in particular, for example, where they reference how these films tend to get bigger and bigger budgets based on how well they've done, until they inevitably start getting less and less money because they're easy to produce after that. And there's one scene that's like, we've got carte blanche with the budget. We can do whatever we like. Cut about 20 minutes later, and it's like, what do you mean we're out of money? I thought you had Kate Blanchett with the budget. What? No, carte blanche. Oh, yeah. I mean, and Ice Cube, who plays the chief in charge of them, he's like, no, you've got to stop doing this. You can't do anything expensive. You're costing the department too much money. I'm wearing $200 shoes. You can't even see them. You're costing the department too much money. You have to do this. You have to solve this case without costing any more money. Little bits like that, it's...
And in the end, they explode everything, probably.
Yeah, basically, everything goes boom. Again, I'm spoiling this through because it's just a joke. There's one scene where they're in a car chase. You've probably seen it on the trailer. They're in a giant football helmet on a go-kart.
Yeah.
Versus this Humvee that's chasing after them, and there's this decision they've got to make. It says, "We got to lose these guys. Where do we go? Pick the direction that costs us the least amount of money." Like, okay, they dive into the arts department and they're weaving through everything. This Humvee's going through all the statues and trying to
the props.
Like, God, it's almost like they're trying to hit them. Let's go in here. This doesn't seem expensive. It's the tech lab. Wow, there was a lot of stuff to break in there.
I gotta see this now.
Yeah, it's silly little shit. It is a little bit childish humor. I personally can't stand Jonah Hill because he's got one act. It's the same.
No, he doesn't.
thing.
He has two acts. He's been in serious dramas and shit like that. That's
but when
his
he's
comedy
allowed
act is probably the same.
When he's allowed to be himself, he's the awkward fat nerd. And I made this joke to Chris the other day. He basically reminds me of a successful version of me.
I still feel like that's like a really fucking arrogant way of you're phrasing yourself. Like, I could have been Jonah Hill too. Someone discovered me first.
Yeah, I'm fat and awkward. He just made it work.
But you can't act.
How do you know? This entire thing could be an act. I could be a...
Alright, then voice act for the next Transmission Awesome, Gav.
Yeah, you big shit.
I need somebody to converse with Liam Neeson unless I'm just going to do both roles.
I can do shit like that. I just can't do voices. I can't do impressions.
The one joke my brother told me, my brother had actually seen this coincidentally, that I guess there's a girl in the movie who constantly just shits on Jonah Hill all the time for being too old, and she's just like, I'm here in college. She's like, college? You look like you're 46. They reference the fact that like these guys are way too old for college.
She's the roommate of one of the girls that Jonah Hill's character starts seeing or investigating. And basically every time they're in her room, she's usually just sat creepy as you like, just staring at them. And she's like, you were thrusting so hard your hip nearly came out. It's like, are you sure you don't need to leave? I'm sure you've got tablets you need to take. Anyone that's more than...
fun of just ragging on for looking old.
Yeah, anyone that's more than 10 years older than her basically is ancient. So she just rags on her for this sort of shit.
So she's like Chris.
Basically, yeah. It is a fun film. It doesn't take itself seriously. There's a lot of fourth wall breaking and piss taking. It's pretty good. There is one little bit that's absolutely brilliant. I'll go into that when we get to spoilers, proper spoilers, because it's actually a story spoiler. But You can see it coming a mile off, but I'll hold on. But it's a brilliant little scene. And there's also a little bit at the end which isn't a spoiler, so I'll go into it now. Where because obviously the whole premise of this is about piss taking out of remakes. They actually get to the point where they first move into this new building, 22 Jump Street, and then they're like, it's so convenient. There was another church over the road from the
first,
what was it?
yeah.
Taiwanese Jesus or something like that.
Yeah.
This one's a Korean Jesus, or something like that. Or yeah, and they're basically going on about as they walk in, they pan around and there's an under construction 23 Jump Street. And as they get as they get to the end of it, though, they take the piss out of it royally because they actually say, okay, well that's that done. Now on to the next case, and you get like joke trailers. Next case. Culinary School, 23 Jump Street. Next case, Flight School, 24 Jump Street. You're going to the military, 26 Jump Street. So they get to like Space Academy and all this sort of stuff. And as they're going through it, to get sillier and sillier and sillier. Obviously, a lot of things that happen is cast get bored and change. Mm-hmm. So they get to like 29 Jump Street. It changes and Seth Rogen sat where Jonah Hill should be. It's like, what? No, what do you mean? I mean, yeah, but I've lost a little bit of weight. I've changed my glasses, if that's what you mean. Like, oh. And then they get to 30 Jump Street, and it's Jonah Hill again. He's like, what do you mean contract dispute? No, I've looked like this the whole time. They just keep going on. Video games, public appearances, toys, the bit about shooting the guy in the dick from the first film. They show they make a what do you call it, a shooting gallery, the cans game, except the penis dildos on the stick and his kids shooting them. Oh, they really go all out with the whole premise. I liked it. Yeah, I was really pleasantly surprised.
What did that movie make its opening weekend?
Oh, it killed its opening weekend.
It did?
It made at least in America, it didn't do great overseas, but opening weekend I think it made like 50 million or something like that.
Wow.
It did great. I mean, it's second this week as well. 29 million this month or this week.
Wow.
Beat How I Trained Your Dragon both weeks.
Yeah.
Seriously, that sucks.
Yeah. As of right now, it's about 150 million worldwide at a $50 million budget. So it's easily made its money back.
We'll see a third.
Possibly. I almost feel like the movie's so self-referential and like shitting on itself for the fact that it has one sequel that I can't imagine how hard on themselves they have to be to make a third one acceptable.
It's literally just going to be... The third one will just be literally cast interviews, and that's it.
No, the third one will just be a commentary track.
Yeah.
They would literally reference it. They'd say, 23 Jump Street, yeah, you thought we were joking. Or some shit like that.
It almost beat Think Like a Man 2, which opened this week at 30 million.
Think Like a Man 2.
Kevin Hart. It's another one of those black movies.
We don't have that. We don't have that one.
No, we don't have that one. Because Chris won't go see it.
You won't go see it.
I'll go see it.
I'll see it too.
No, I won't.
There we go. I know you can call that bluff.
No. All right. So, Gav, what would you give your 22 Jump Street?
I'd give it an easy. I mean, there were bits that I were like, oh, really? But there's a lot of groaners in this. I'd give it a solid B. I think as a comedy, in that genre. It, like I say, Hangover had that sort of, it was claimed as a brilliant film and all the rest of it. I think this is a better film. It's just a little bit more clever. And it's not just trying to gross people out or like, oh, here's Mike Tyson with a tiger. It's like, no, this is actually a clever, actually well-written film.
I still always remember that one joke in The Hangover. It's just like, my grandfather died. How'd he die? In World War II. What was he fighting? Nah, he was skiing in Vermont. Still always like my favorite joke from that movie.
The only thing I will say is Channing Tatum, as ridiculous as you say, you'd think it'd be for him to play an idiot. He comes across like he's playing stupid.
The movies I saw an interview with what's his name, Jonah Hill, on the Daily Show, and he was talking about Channing Tatum, and they have a picture of him up on the big screen, and it's him with his shirt off at the thing, and it's like, how hard was it to be in a movie with all these people and meeting girls and stuff like that, and having to be your co-star. And he's like, it's really hard. And then he didn't want to do comedy, like he doesn't think he can. And then he started trying it, and Jonah Hill's like, yeah, I really do think I just created a monster now, because now he can do what Jonah Hill does, and looks better than him. So, and then I think Stephen Colbert just shit on him for the rest of the interview about it, and left the photo up there too. And Jonah Hill's is like, can you please take that down? I can only see his abs in my peripheral vision.
There is a romantic angle in this film, but it's nothing to do with Channing Tatum. He's really left out of it, in the women's side of it. He gets all bromancy, but that's about it.
Oh, they were just talking about just like meeting people on set and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But apparently, like, Jonah Hill really likes how, like, he did not believe Channing Tatum could do comedy until the first one, when they were starting to do the science shit. If you've ever seen the first one, you'll understand. And that, like, after that really surprised Jonah Hill and how Channing Tatum's, like, range of acting is. But all right, okay. So you gave that one a solid B, you said?
But as far as modern comedy movies go, yeah, solid B. It wasn't a masterpiece by any means, but I enjoyed it. I sat through it well. Yeah.
All right. So let's move on to How to Train Your Dragon 2. Now, I am the only one who saw this one, so I'm going to keep this short and sweet here. It is a direct sequel to the first movie. It's basically, what's his name, Hiccup's journey to becoming the chief of their tribe, their Viking tribe. And, something with the dragons and shit and whatnot. But let's just see. The animation, fucking as great as the first one. Acting, great as the first one. The problem with this fucking movie is they ruined the whole fucking movie in the trailer. And I'm not kidding about this. They literally spoil this. I'm not going to say what the spoiler is, because maybe you have been able to avoid the trailers. If you haven't, I'm sorry. Because now you know all the surprises in this movie. Literally, you know every surprise in this movie. This is my number one worst trailer of the year thus far. Acting great. Visuals great. Didn't see it in 3D. I believed it would have looked good in 3D. Let's see what else. Story's fantastic. It's perfectly paced. I just really do believe that the trailer's what fucking killed this thing for me.
See, this is why I don't mind spoilers so much, just because half the films are spoiled before you see them anyway. You got to take the mindset these days where, okay, I know where it's going. I just want to see how it gets there.
Well, no, this one takes like I'll get into it in spoilers.
Yeah.
But if you like the first one, this one is just as good. It's not better, but it's just as good. It's fucking awesome. It's my animated movie of the year thus far, even though I think it's the only animated movie of the year we've done. Is it the only animated movie?
Lego movie.
Oh yeah, we've done Lego movie. Holy shit. Fuck.
Everything is awesome.
Yeah, Lego movie's still number one. Just for that song. Fuck. Okay, but it's a very, very, very close number two. If somehow the Lego movie got removed from the list, it'd be number one, because it is number two and it's next on the list. Get it? See?
Maybe if the Lego movie doesn't count as an animated film because it has live action parts.
Only the ending.
Okay.
But it would be a great way to get it out of the animated series.
Any excuse.
I see Will Ferrell.
Dragon must win something.
It'll get some kind of a cheap bowling ball trophy at the end of the year somehow.
Yay! All our trophies, cheap bowling ball trophies.
No, actually, I think it's gonna be a golf trophy this year or a t-ball trophy. I'm not sure, but it's not gonna be bowling. We're gonna change it every year. But I honestly, this movie's a solid A. Seriously, a solid A. Go see this movie. Support this movie. It is a fun. It doesn't drag. It's just extremely fucking fun. Good soundtrack. Good music. Or good soundtrack with fantastic visuals. Good story. Excellent pacing. That's all I can really say about this movie until spoilers. Yeah. So let's get into the spoiler section. So that means if you don't want to get spoiled for any of these 3 movies, get the fuck out now. Or don't complain to me, because you're pretty much thingy is here to get out now. Get out. Get the fuck out now. All right, Chris, Jersey Boys.
Have you ever seen a VH1 Behind the Music special?
Yes.
Then it's the exact same as everything else. Shocker, the band starts to fall apart. Their success is limited. They fall on hard times. There's not too much more really to spoil.
But
in
how
this
many
movie.
how often does VH1 Behind the Music get into where a guy owns the mob $1 million?
You know, it probably is more often than you think for people they did during the 50s and 60s. It's less frequent now. I don't think the mob is the connection to music that they used to, but I wouldn't be surprised that back then a lot of them were essentially like that.
Yeah, 2 words, Frank Sinatra.
Essentially, the movie features the group kind of falling apart because Tommy
Is an asshole.
Yeah, Tommy turns out to be a complete fuck up. Well, doesn't turn out to be. You know he's a fuck up from basically the first scene you meet him. And
Yeah.
he just continues that throughout the movie. And
I hated that character too.
I feel bad for the actor because between this and Luciano, this guy just does not have many likable characters to his name. He's just known for playing fuckheads.
Gav, shut up. No goal in my chat room.
Well,
Just to date this episode, I'm gonna make a point of it now. Portugal are playing USA in the World Cup right now, and USA are now 2-1. They're winning.
Yes!
They're winning.
You're actually beating Portugal.
Damn it.
Fuck you, Portugal!
Damn it.
If you win this game, you are through to the knockout round.
Oh, let's do it, America! Anyway,
Clint Dempsey just scored with his dick.
I'm so fucking high on patriotism right now. Let's fucking do this goddamn spoiler review. All right,
America,
fucking
fuck
first
no.
seasons are one of the biggest American acts of all time. They're
Chris.
fucking incredible. But then Tommy goes and throws it all away by owing a lot of money to the mafia. Shit gets real for them. They basically come down to kind of Jersey loyalty to it. Frankie doesn't want to basically screw over Tommy completely, so he and the rest of the group decides to shoulder the rest of the debt.
Well, just him. Because the rest of the group leaves.
does.
Because of 10 years!
10 years! You use all my towels!
That's awesome, though. He used a whole towel just to blow his nose into it. And pee in the sink. That reminds me of my brother, though. Because my brother would pee in the sink.
And
Same reasons. It was closer. Same exact reason.
essentially things don't go very well for Frankie after that. He starts to slowly recover, but his marriage falls apart, and eventually his daughter runs away. And he finally starts to make a kinship with her, but then they don't make it abundantly.
She ODs.
I guess, yeah, I figured she OD. They mentioned one part about pills at some point, so yeah. I assume that's what happened. And he kind of recovers a little bit after that. They do this new song, My Eyes Adored You, which is a relatively controversial song at the time it came out. Not because it had controversial lyrics,
where it placed in
it didn't
music.
sound right.
Yeah.
People were just like, this is too heavy for light, this is too soft for rock, it's never going to work. But it plays, it goes well, and then the movie ends with them getting inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. But it does in a weird way in that they're up on stage singing, and then all of them start talking to the camera, and some segments of them talking are more important than the others.
Mm-hmm.
It goes to show that they all are remembering their life in their own ways. I mean, you can even see it on the poster we have on here. Everyone remembers it how they need to.
Mm.
And that is, I guess, essentially the theme of the movie. But it is kind of weird that some of them will be 2 seconds long. It'll just be like, oh, if you go to a place in New Jersey and you ask about Tommy, they'll throw you out in 12 seconds, cut to the next person.
That's Vegas.
Yeah,
That's
you're
Vegas.
just like, what?
Yeah.
But no, it's not. Again, not bad, but it's just. There's not. I just don't feel like there's much to spoil in this.
Yeah.
And
Well, that's the problem with true stories, is if you've got any sort of.
Well, I
generic
wonder how much this
knowledge
is
of
actually true, though, because it is based off of a play, which is based off of
hearsay
a
and that sort of
novel.
stuff.
And you'll notice that
Or a-
Frank Valley is noted as an executive producer in this. This is going to be heavily influenced by his perception of things.
Exactly. Even though he is probably the best person to tell the story, in a little sense. since he's telling his story. This isn't Frankie or this isn't DeLucci and the 4 seasons. This is fucking Frankie Valli's story, his story of it, his view of it. So
yeah, it's not like Horseface was like, "Let me tell you the story of the 4 seasons." Oh, it's just like, you were like the least important member of the group. No, I did the low bassy parts of the songs. Remember?
I have a joke that I want to tell you about that one, but I forgot to do it before the stream because I can't do it on the stream.
Why?
For rules I've made. Huh?
All right.
So I'll tell you about it after. But
let's end it now then.
No. Gav, spoiled 21 Jump Street.
22.
I mean, I've
22.
pretty much gone through. Yeah, 22 Jump Street. I've pretty much gone through the majority of it there. The main plot of it is that they're trying to solve a drug bust. They start the movie. You've seen in the trailers where they do the stupid Mexican accents and all that sort of stuff. This is them trying something different. They ruin that bust. They fuck up, and the captain basically says, "No, look, the reason this isn't working is because you're not doing that same shit that you're doing last time. Don't do that again." And they literally send them back to college. The church they're based out of is directly opposite the church they were in last time. They start off with the exact same method of investigation. They even have a mini resolution halfway through the film where the same sort of culprit gets hauled away falsely because it matched the last one. They even have the police chief saying, "Yes, we've under thorough investigation, we've solved this case and removed drugs from this college. In fact, it matched a similar case we had a few months ago. Exactly the same." They keep driving this point, but it turns out that that it was all a ruse, and what they needed to do to solve the case was do things differently. And there's no one wanting to do that other than them. They do the whole, oh, you're doing it your way, you're doing it mine. It's harsh for one, but cool for the other. They did in the first film. Like I said, it's not really that much of a plot to spoil, other than the chick that Chris digs so much, the insult bitch. She actually turns out to be the drug runner. She's the one behind it all.
Who?
Because the one that insults him for being so old.
Oh, got it.
Yeah, she's actually the drug pusher. So she's a major part in it, and she has some great scenes towards the end with Ice Cube. In fact, he's got some great scenes as well. He's got one of the funniest parts in the film.
You actually said you wanted something that you wanted to bring up in spoilers about a joke.
This is it, yeah.
This is it. Okay.
This is it. Basically, the girl who's roommating with the drug cartel person, she you can see it coming a mile away. She basically turns out to be Ice Cube's daughter. And a little bit early in the movie, like, they go back to report to him, and he's like, well, I don't know how the investigation is going so poorly, but all I know is one of us got laid last night. And they start doing the Jonah Hill pretending to be black routine, where he's doing the head bob, and it's like, and Ice Cube's like, okay, yeah, go on then, I'll give you high fives for that. And high fives him, and then finds out that when they have parent day at college, it turns out that he's the daughter. He goes on a rampage. He's like staring at him. How you doing, Clint? Or whatever the false name they're giving him. How you doing, Clint? Having a good time at college? Clint? How's things for you here? Clint. Getting angrier and angrier. Until he just wanders off to the buffet bar and he's kicking trays over and he's like, you there, dude, give me some, whatever. What's that shit? Give me it here. Puts them on. He's like, the fuck? Just pushes him over, sticks his hand in the serving tray, loads of his plate, starts kicking shit over, picks up a rotisserie chicken, starts throwing it around. Get your shit over. And he cuts from there back to the office, and it's Ice Cube just glaring at him. And Channing Tatum's character is completely oblivious to all this, and he's like, "What's going on? Have we got a problem here?" And Ice is like, "Yeah, this is my problem." Picks up a picture of his daughter and puts it on the table, and you can literally see Channing Tatum. This is what I think what he was talking about when he says that Channing Tatum can do comedy, because this is one of his best bits. He's looking at the picture for like a minute. And you literally, I think they even animate something in where his eyes light up, and he's like, "Oh shit!" he literally gets up and runs around the office fucking he's like laughing like a fucking idiot. The entire audience are joining in with him because that's the mood. It's like, oh, you fucked the captain's daughter. He's like running around. Dude, it gets right up in Ice Cube's face. Dude, he fucked your daughter. You gave him high fives and everything. To the point where Ice just picks up his gun and looks at him. He's like, oh, okay. Great little scenes. I mean, like I say, he plays dumb awfully, but he's actually a really good comic actor. I quite like him.
Well,
but I mean, look, they go through it all. You get the bit in the trailers and all the promotional pictures with them on spring break, because that's where it all leads to. Because obviously they're in college, it has to lead there.
Mm-hmm.
There's a scene with helicopter chases and people get shot and all this sort of shit. I'm not really going to spoil it because I want you guys to go see this. This is a good film. I liked it.
Okay. Well, if you like Channing Tatum, you better get used to him because we'll be seeing him as Gambit soon.
To be honest, I wasn't sure of that. Looking at this, I can see it. He plays the slam.
I have to see him in the suit, you know.
Yeah.
I have to see him. I have to see him in the purple, you know, and then I got to hear him.
Yeah.
The minute I hear him and see him in the suit with a stick, I'm like, that's Gambit. That's what I'll know. But I can't vision him in the suit with the accent. I know he's from Louisiana.
When they show him,
go ahead.
Go on.
He's not from New Orleans or but he's from the area. I think he's like
he's experienced with that accent. So.
He was born and raised outside of it, outside of New Orleans. So I'm like, he could probably pull off the accent. He can, but I don't know if he can pull off the hair. Because Gambit's got really fucking notable hair.
Yeah.
And the way he dresses, the fucking trench coat and shit.
They do it in this where they have him in, because he's got to be he's the jock. So they do have scenes where he's like constantly working out, constantly this, that, and other in football pads, so he looks huge.
Yeah, but Gambit's not huge though. He's kind of tall and gangly, but he's still got a build to him.
That's the thing. You see, comic books always make him look skinny, but only in comparison to the real big powerhouses. Gambit's still, athletic builds, and I think he'll be able to pull it off. I honestly think he will.
He looks like Gambit's like a runner's build.
Yeah,
not like somebody else's. That's like a
All he has to do is change his workout, and I think he'll be able to slim it down a little bit.
Yeah, we'll see. Chris, do you think he'd pull off Gambit?
Yeah, I think so. It may not be as lethal as we're kind of expecting Gambit to be, but I think his physique can probably be all right. I mean, Gambit being muscular is not going to blow my mind, especially because he's not. I mean, he could probably just cut a little bit, lose a little bit of the muscle mass, and I think he'll be okay.
This isn't. I don't think this is as bad as the chick playing Wonder Woman, though. I have more hopes for him playing Gambit than the one supermodel playing fucking Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
That's bullshit.
See, I'm almost sad about that Jamie Alexander was actually tied up with Marvel, because she would have made a great Wonder Woman.
She went for the role. They just didn't pick her.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, DC can go fuck themselves. Fucking Jason Momoa as fucking Aquaman. How many more fucking heroes do you want to shoehorn into this thing without giving it any fucking setup?
Who is Aquaman?
Jason Momoa.
Khal Drogo from for the first season of Game of Thrones.
What?
Conan. Yeah.
Bullshit. Okay.
Yeah.
Fuck DC. Fuck DC. I'm done.
Have you heard the other rumor that's come out recently? It was inevitable, but basically because obviously Joss Whedon in charge of Marvel.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nathan Fillion's got a role.
No.
Supposedly.
No, it's a small cameo within Guardians of the Galaxy. A lot of people are trying to extrapolate upon that, like, oh, he's going to be Star Fox, oh, he's going to be Nova, oh, he's going to be this, he's going to be that. No, he is playing a small cameo role, which he did as a favor to James Gunn. So he's probably just going to show up at a bar. Maybe he'll even be fucking Mal or something like that, or it'll be something
quite cool.
Sci-fi or Firefly, but it's not going to be like a main character.
Yeah, that could be cool if it's a Mal cameo.
That would be pretty pimp.
That'd be awesome.
All right, How to Train Your Dragon 2. The reason why I think the trailer spoiled this movie is because they showed that they find his mom, and by the way the trailer's paced out, you find that the father dies in this movie. That's how he becomes a thing. Basically, the whole movie's about they have to get the dragons are being taken away somewhere. Something's being controlling them. They're finding out there's these things called alphas that can control the dragons and the one guy's making a dragon army to control all of them. And then you get basically these two giant dragons fighting each other. You get apparently it's mind control, which is really stupid. I was hoping for something a little bit more smart, like pheromones or something. But it's literally the dragon looks at you, and then you just go fucking bonkers and submit to yourself to the alpha. The ending of this movie, fucking fantastic. Not spoiling it. Watch it. It makes Toothless look amazing, I think. But just the whole thing of the spoiler of they find what's his name, Hiccup's mom, is just ruined by the trailer, because the whole trailer they show her. He says the line, "Mom," I'm like, no, just take that out, because that leaves the whole tension scene where they find this tribal person that you don't know who the fuck it is with the helmet on. You can't see what they look like. You know, kind of intimidating, doing things with the dragons and showing off that she's in control, or he, depending on, you know, if you sell a trailer or not. You know, is showing off that, you know, she's helping the dragons. She doesn't need help from anybody else. And then they find out, oh, it's my son. And she takes off her helmet, and I'm just like, wait, I knew this the minute they showed this character off, that it was going to be his mom, because of the fucking trailers. So the full, like, 15-minute scene, they're teasing it.
The trailer I've seen, it's actually, she's like, "Hello, Hiccup. How do you know my name?" And she comes out with "a mother knows." Oh, for fuck's sake, really?
Yeah, they shouldn't have that in there. You should have no idea that they find his mom in this movie, because that would have been a good reveal if they wouldn't have showed it in the trailer. And the way the trailer's also spaced out is that, you know, for me, you can kind of feel the father dies in the trailer, because you know, he's on his way to become the chief. Well, how's he going to become the chief if the father's still alive?
Yeah, exactly.
So at some point, you know, Toothless fucking kills his father under the mind control of the alpha.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that was shocking. I didn't think they would kill the father with his own fucking dragon. I didn't see that coming. So I gave him props for that. I thought he was just going to get killed in the battle or something like that, trying to stop the dragon guy and shit like that. But no, fucking Toothless blows the shit up out of him. But yeah, I mean, it's a fucking fantastic movie. I really can't say enough about it. You guys got to go see it. There's a lot more in it that I've spoiled, so fucking
well, I mean,
watch it.
it's not actually out here yet. It comes out next week. I will be going to see it.
Yeah, you guys should see it. It's fucking fantastic.